Welcome to Andy's Garage. I'm Andy Phillips. Today I'm going to show you how to clean your garage tile flooring. Now this is the kind of the plastic or PVC. I believe that's what it is, the interlocking tiles. If you want to see, I've done a couple videos on this. If you want to see the video I did as a product review, you can check that out via the link above. I'll also have it down in the description. You can check that out where I kind of give a review of the one I put here in my garage. And if you want to see how to install it, you can also see that video via the link above, also down in the description, where I actually installed it and show how you do it. It's very easy. It's very low maintenance. It's easy to clean up, except as we're going to show here, sometimes you can have some stubborn stains, especially if you use it for automotive repair, which I do. It does clean up nice, though. It has a very cool look, and I love it. So if you want to check out those other videos, I think you'll enjoy that. It'll be helpful. But let's go ahead and get started with this. If you're dealing with like your typical automotive fluids or stains, like we have your automatic transmission fluid, power steering fluid, some grease stains, even on the white tiles, these things clean up really easy with just a rag. Sometimes you may want to put a little bit of a spray cleaner, nothing that's abrasive or like a high chemical that could damage the sheen on this. I'll sometimes use maybe just a little bit of Windex, but for the most part, just a wet rag will clean it up. And it comes right up. Even if I've had vehicles where the automatic transmission fluid has been actually sitting on there for a while. I have a car that has a very minor leak. Just go ahead, wipe it right off like that. And it's perfect. Good as new, no problem. Where you may have problems, and I've had in the past, if you have a fuel leak. I had a vehicle that had a gasoline leak, and the gasoline was laying on the tiles for a long period of time because I was not aware of it. So it laid on there for several days, I think even maybe a week or two. Then what happened, because of the petroleum, it caused the plastic in the tiles to kind of warp a little bit, and I had to pop those out. But the good thing with these tiles, because they're not glued down, they're just locked in place, you can just crack them out and then lock new ones back in with no problem. So easy maintenance with that. Now those are the easy cases, and if you want to see how to maintain this, I believe in my product review video that I mentioned earlier, and I have the link down in the description. I showed just the easy way with just some warm soapy water. You can just kind of dump the water out, just mop it, cleans up very nice. But what I'm talking about is sometimes when you have vehicles coming in and out, you can get just some stains from the tires, or sometimes, like I've done a lot of work in this one, you get a lot of grease and stuff and it kind of gets caked in. And just kind of using a rag or even a sponge with cleaner isn't enough to get it off. And let me show you what I'm talking about. If you look right up here, you can see some staining. If we come right here, same thing here. And I'm going to show you with a rag and some cleaner, this stuff just will not come off, but I'm going to show you how you can remove it. Spray just some Windex cleaner, and most of the time this will, remove anything that you may have on there. Let's kind of wipe that off with that. Got a little bit that came off, but you can see the stain is just still there here too. And if you have a floor like I do, where you have black and white or even just any lighter colors, I mean, that starts to look ugly. You want it to look clean, especially if you're trying to maintain, somewhat of a show garage and not just kind of a working garage. So I'm going to show you what we can use that'll get this off and get this looking nice and white again. Here's what I'm going to use right here. We have this magic eraser mop. And if you haven't used a magic eraser before, those things really come in handy. They can remove stubborn stains. You do have to be careful, is if you scrub too hard, you can kind of dull the finish a little bit, because it's almost like a really fine wet sand is kind of how I see it as. But we're going to go ahead and go gentle with this, and we're going to see this thing go perfectly white. So what I'm going to do when you're dealing with like the magic erasers, you need to wet the white end of it with some warm water. We're going to head over to the sink, wet it real good, and then we'll be back to get this looking beautiful and white again. Get the water nice and warm. Wet this real good. And you can use, if you just have a small spot, you can use like a magic eraser by itself, a little one, but in this case, since I've got a few spots on my floor, I'm just going to go ahead and mop it. So once that's there, we'll go ahead and squeeze it out. Make sure it's nice. And there we go. Let's head over there. So bringing our mop here, I'm going to go over this real good. You want to put a little bit of elbow grease into it, but as I mentioned already, you don't want to go too hard to where you kind of damage the finish, and you can already see it starting to take some of it off. Let's try this one here. You can see it a little bit coming off already. I'm going to go ahead and re-wet it, and then we'll be right back. We're getting a lot of it up, but not all of it. All right, I'm going to get the actual magic eraser and hit some of these spots. There's some dark spots still here. A lot of it's coming off, but these stubborn spots, I'm going to get the magic eraser itself and hit it and see if we can't get those off. Oh yeah, look at that. You can see coming off. Let's hit some of these right here. Look at that. It's coming off. Yeah, sometimes you may want to grab just a small magic eraser and just kind of hit those individual spots. If it's not as bad as mine, that mop will work fine. So I'm going to keep going on this thing, and then we'll be back to look at it. We have all the staining off, to my knowledge. Some of the other stuff you're seeing on here, and I'll get a close-up for you to see it, is actually scarring from scratches on it. So some of the dirt got into the grooves of the scratches, but the actual staining is actually pretty clean. So we're going to go ahead and dry this off, and then I'll get a close-up so you can see it. And then we'll head off to another stain that's not as major. These were the worst, but I'll show you more of a typical one from tires and stuff, and that comes off really easy. As you can see, the tile itself is nice and clean. You can see the scratches right here. That's where you're seeing some of the staining. Also right here on the tread plate. Some of the tread plates are kind of scuffed up on top, which is showing that darkness right there. But let's see if I can get it from this angle. You can see right here, it's pretty clean. And then we have this one right here. Start with this one. See right there? Look at that. Took it right off. Nice and clean. We have this other one here. This one is kind of a combination of tire and grease and everything else. But let's go ahead and use this swiffer mop. And you can see right there, it's coming up. It's actually turning out really good. And as mentioned already, you don't want to go too hard, but you do want to put some elbow grease into it. and just kind of keep working it. And let's get this, clean it. Look at that. Beautiful. Got a little bit right here. I'm going to go ahead and get the magic eraser by hand, and we'll detail it. Just kind of go over it like that. There we go. Wipe that off. Nice and clean. Now we have this one here. It's a pretty bad stain. It's been there for some time. Let's see if I can get that one up. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, came right up with this Swiffer mop. I'm sorry, not Swiffer, Magic Eraser mop. Beautiful. Took it right up. Then we have this tile here. Doesn't really have any automotive damage to it. It's just dirty, and I can't get it off by just mopping it. So let's try it with this. Look at that. Taking it all off. Perfect. Just needs to be dried off. Everything is looking good, as we saw. Getting these things nice and white. As we saw already, some of them, if you have some cuts into the tile or scratches, things like that, where the dirt can get into those grooves, you're not going to be able to get that out, but you can at least get the tile itself white. So I'm going to keep moving along here, but this wraps up this video on how to clean your garage tile flooring for this kind of interlocking tile, especially if you've got stains that you can't get off using any kind of like regular cleaners. Then I'd recommend using, as we have here, a magic eraser, either mop or even just a magic eraser itself if you want to detail it more. But that wraps up this video. I hope it was informative for you. I hope it helped you out with any projects you're working on. If you have any questions or comments, please send them in. I would love to hear from you. And as always, I appreciate all the support. So please like the video, subscribe to this channel. I'll see you next time.